You have to control your mind, because if you don't, it will control you. Your mind is the engine, but without a driver it crashes. And if you hand the wheel to fear, insecurity, or distraction, don't be surprised when you end up nowhere. Your mind was built to serve you, but it will dominate you if you don't take authority. You want peace, command your thoughts. You want growth, discipline your focus. You want freedom, break the loop of overthinking, self-doubt, and delay. Nobody's coming to flip that switch for you. You flip it, you face the thoughts that paralyze you, you sit with them, you stare them down and say, "Not today." You can't afford to be soft with your thinking, because your future depends on how you think when nobody's watching. Train your mind like a soldier, build mental muscle, choose the thought that serves the mission, and kill the one that doesn't. Control your mind, or your mind will convince you to settle. To give up, to play small, it will tell you you're tired when you still have fire. It will say you're done when you're just getting started. So no, you don't get to think whatever you want. You get to think what builds you. You get to think what strengthens you. You get to think like someone who refuses to lose. Because the war is not out there. It's up here. And if you don't win here, you won't win anywhere. Control over your mind is essential. If you don't lead your thoughts, they will lead you. And they won't lead you somewhere good by accident. They'll lead you into the arms of fear. They'll walk you straight into doubt. They'll drag you back into the pain you've been trying to escape. Your mind is a tool, but if left unchecked, it becomes your cage. Every thought you don't challenge has the power to become your reality. Every belief you don't question can quietly shape your limits. So you have to ask yourself who's in charge here, the real you, or the voice in your head telling you you're not enough, because if you don't step in, that voice will run the show. It will decide how you show up. It will control what risks you take. It will dictate who you become. You can't afford to be passive with your mind. You can't sit back and hope it behaves. You have to train it. You have to test it. You have to stand up to it. When it spirals into fear, interrupt it. When it slips into anger, breathe through it. When it feeds you lies, replace them with truth. Controlling your mind isn't about pretending everything is perfect. It's about standing in the middle of the storm and saying, "I choose what I believe. I choose how I respond." That's power. That's real control. Because life is loud, pressure is constant, and people will pull you in 100 directions. But if your mind is anchored, you won't break, you won't drown, you'll rise, and you won't just survive, you'll take control of your life from the inside out. Your mind is a powerful engine, but it needs intentional direction to avoid chaos. It can take you to extraordinary heights, or it can crash you into walls you never saw coming. The difference lies in who's steering. Your thoughts move fast, your emotions hit hard, and if you're not guiding that power, it will turn wild. It will race in circles. It will chase every distraction. It will spiral into overthinking, fear, and confusion. This engine was built to create, built to build, built to imagine, to solve, to dream. But without clear direction, it burns fuel for nothing. It runs loud but goes nowhere. That's why intention is everything. That's why focus isn't optional. You don't let a race car drive itself. You don't give a jet engine no destination. So why would you let your mind wander without leadership? Every goal you've set, every breakthrough you need, it starts with guiding your thoughts like a pilot in a storm. No autopilot, no drifting, just pure, purposeful control. You point your mind toward growth, toward clarity, toward peace, and you keep it locked in, because when your thoughts scatter, your power scatters, and when your thoughts align, your life aligns. You can't stop every thought from appearing, but you can choose which ones stay. You can't silence every storm, but you can decide how you move through it. That's direction. That's mental mastery. When your mind obeys your mission, you become unstoppable. You build momentum instead of confusion. You create energy instead of anxiety. You become someone who doesn't just think but thinks on purpose, because the engine is strong. but it only becomes powerful when it's pointed towards something that matters. Fear and distraction take over when you surrender control. They don't need permission, they just need an opening. The moment you stop leading your thoughts, they sneak in, quiet at first, a little hesitation, a little doubt, a small voice saying, "What if I'm not good enough?" Then it grows, the noise gets louder, and before you know it, fear is making decisions for you. Distraction is stealing your focus. And you're stuck not because you're not capable, but because your attention was hijacked. Fear doesn't always scream. Sometimes it whispers, "Play it safe. Don't try that. Wait a little longer." And you listen, not because it's right, but because you gave up control. Distraction works the same way. It doesn't always look like chaos. Sometimes it looks like comfort, like scrolling, like overthinking, like doing 100 small things just to avoid the one that matters. But here's the truth: every moment you don't decide, something else will decide for you. If you don't set your direction, fear will. If you don't protect your focus, distraction will claim it. Control isn't about being rigid. It's about being present. It's about catching yourself before you drift. It's about noticing when fear is steering the wheel and saying, "Not today." You're not weak because fear shows up. You're not broken because you get distracted. But you're responsible for whether you let them run your life. You have to stay awake, stay intentional. Choose your thoughts the way a captain chooses a course, with purpose, with clarity, with strength. Because the second you surrender, they will take over, and if they lead, you lose. Mental discipline is key to peace, growth, and freedom. Not just sometimes, not just when it's easy, every day, every moment. Without discipline, the mind becomes noisy. It jumps from one thought to another, one fear to the next, and drags you with it. But when you train it, when you teach your mind to obey your focus, everything changes. Peace isn't just silence, it's control. It's knowing you can quiet your thoughts when they get loud. It's knowing you can calm yourself when everything around you is chaos. That doesn't come by accident. That comes by training. Growth doesn't happen by chance either. It's the product of showing up consistently, choosing what's uncomfortable over what's easy, staying focused when it's boring, staying committed when it's hard. That's mental discipline and freedom. That's the prize most people want but few are willing to earn. Freedom from anxiety, freedom from impulsive habits, freedom from needing everyone's approval. You don't get there by hoping. You get there by taking control of your thoughts before they control you. Discipline is not punishment, it's protection. It guards your time, it protects your energy, it builds a wall between you and your old patterns. It says, "This is where I focus, this is where I grow, this is what I refuse to entertain anymore." And every time you choose discipline, you grow stronger, your thoughts get clearer, your path becomes sharper. Your future becomes yours, not something you wish for, but something you shape. You don't need perfect thoughts, you just need power over them. You don't need to control everything around you, you just need control over what's within. Because the person who controls their mind cannot be stopped, cannot be shaken, cannot be owned by anything or anyone. That's what mental discipline gives you, not just results, but peace, growth, and true, unshakable freedom. Overthinking and self-doubt are cycles that must be broken by conscious will. They don't break on their own, they don't fade with time, they repeat, they loop, until you interrupt them with decision. Overthinking is a silent trap. It looks like productivity, it feels like caution, but it's paralysis. You turn one small problem into 1,000 imagined ones. You replay conversations, you rehearse failure. You analyze every angle until action feels impossible. And self-doubt, it's the voice that shows up right before you're about to grow. It whispers, "Who are you to try? What if you're wrong? What if you fail?" And if you listen, you stay stuck. Not because you're unworthy, but because you gave power to the wrong voice. These cycles feed each other. Overthinking creates doubt. Doubt creates more overthinking. And together, they steal your time, your energy, your life. But here's the truth: you are not your thoughts. You are the one who chooses which thoughts stay. And that choice, it takes conscious will. You have to step in and say, I've thought enough. I've worried enough. Now I move. Because waiting for the perfect moment is how you miss every moment. Waiting for certainty is how you stay in fear. You break the cycle by doing the opposite of what it wants. You take the risk. You speak the truth. You press forward even when doubt is screaming. You remind yourself clarity comes from action, not from endless thought. Confidence comes from trying, not from being sure. This is mental training, not once, but daily. Overthinking will return, self-doubt will creep in, but you'll be ready, not because you're fearless, but because you've built the will to act anyway. You don't need every answer. You just need to trust yourself enough to begin. And when you do, the cycle breaks, the noise quiets, and you step into the power that was always yours to claim. No one else can do the mental work for you. Self-mastery is personal. You can have mentors. You can read the books. You can listen to all the motivational words in the world. But when the noise fades, it's just you and your mind. No one can walk into your thoughts and rearrange them for you. No one can silence your inner critic. No one can discipline your focus. That's your job. You have to decide how you think. You have to decide what you allow to stay in your head. You have to face the fears, confront the doubts, and hold yourself accountable to who you want to be. You can't delegate that. You can't outsource your transformation, because this is your mind, your life, your path. And if you wait for someone else to fix what's going on inside, you'll wait forever. This journey, it's uncomfortable, it's lonely sometimes, but it's necessary. Self-mastery means telling yourself the truth even when it hurts. It means owning your flaws without letting them define you. It means catching the thoughts that sabotage you and replacing them not once, but every time they return. No one can make you strong on the inside. They can show you how, they can inspire you, but you have to do the reps. You have to build that inner muscle, and that happens in silence, in stillness, in the moments no one sees. It's not about appearing strong. It's about becoming strong. It's not about impressing others. It's about mastering yourself. You become powerful the moment you stop looking outward for what can only be found inward. You become unstoppable the moment you stop blaming and start building, because the most important work you'll ever do will be the work you do on yourself. And no one, not your friends, not your family, not your mentors, can do that for you. It's your mind, your fight, your victory to claim. Training your mind is as vital as training your body, because your body can be strong, but if your mind is weak, you'll still fall. You can lift weights, run miles, build muscle, but if you haven't trained your thoughts, one setback can break you, one doubt can paralyze you, one failure can convince you to quit. Physical strength is visible. But mental strength, that's what carries you through the hidden battles. That's what shows up when no one is watching. Your mind is a muscle. It responds to repetition, to consistency, to challenge. Just like the body, you don't get stronger by staying comfortable. You get stronger by pushing it, by choosing discipline over distraction, by doing the work when you don't feel like it. Mental training is showing up when fear is loud. It's keeping focus when life is messy. It's choosing clarity when the mind wants to panic. And it's not just for crisis. It's for every day, because life doesn't warn you before it tests you. Pressure doesn't knock before it enters. You train now so you're ready later. You practice gratitude so your mind doesn't default to lack. You breathe through stress so it doesn't control your choices. You speak truth to your thoughts so lies don't take root. This is daily work. Not when you feel like it, Not when it's easy, every single day. You don't skip workouts if you want results. So don't skip the mental reps either. Silence the noise, challenge the thoughts, choose focus. Every time, because a strong body can carry weight, but a strong mind can carry purpose. It can carry vision. It can carry you forward when everything around you tries to pull you back. Train your body, yes. But train your mind harder, because your thoughts decide how far you go, and only a trained mind can handle the pressure of a powerful life. Only choose thoughts that align with your mission. Reject anything that weakens you. Not every thought that enters your mind belongs there. Not every voice deserves to be heard. Your mind is a battlefield and your focus is the territory. You have a mission, a purpose, a reason you wake up each day. But if your thoughts don't support that purpose, they are distractions. They are enemies in disguise. You don't have time to entertain what drains you. You don't have space to carry thoughts that question your worth, your potential, or your vision. You're not here to feed self-doubt. You're here to feed belief. You're not here to replay fear. You're here to walk through it with your head up, eyes forward. If a thought tears you down, let it go. If a thought makes you small, silence it. If a thought doesn't push you toward who you're becoming, it doesn't deserve your attention. This is mental alignment. This is thinking with intention. Your mission is sacred. Treat your mind the same way. Every time you accept a thought that weakens you, you lower your standard. You slow your progress. You build a life around doubt instead of direction. But when you choose thoughts that match your vision, you build momentum. You build clarity. You build strength from within, and it's not about fake positivity. It's about powerful awareness. You recognize what doesn't serve you, and you replace it with what does. You don't owe your energy to every emotion. You don't owe your focus to every fear. You owe your life to your purpose, and your thoughts should reflect that. So when the doubt comes, pause. When the fear speaks, listen, then lead. When the negative voice rises, respond with truth. You are the gatekeeper of your mind. Only let in what builds you. Only hold on to what lifts you. Only think in a way that moves you closer to who you're here to be. Your mind can sabotage your potential if left unchecked. Not because it wants to hurt you, but because it's wired to protect you. And sometimes that protection comes at the cost of your progress. It avoids risk. It avoids discomfort. It avoids anything unfamiliar, even when that unfamiliar thing is your breakthrough. The mind holds memories of pain, of failure, of fear. And if you don't take control, it will use those memories as reasons to keep you small. You'll get a vision. You'll feel excitement. And then suddenly, a thought says, what if it doesn't work? What if you fail again? And without even noticing, you slow down, you shrink, you sabotage your own momentum, not because you're lazy, not because you're weak, but because your mind ran the show without your permission. You have dreams inside you, gifts, potential waiting to be lived. But if your mind is running on fear, it will keep you locked in the past, and it will disguise safety as wisdom. You'll call it being realistic. You'll call it thinking it through. But what it really is sabotage in disguise. You have to watch your thoughts like a guard at the gate. Every one of them has the power to lift you or limit you. Ask yourself, is this thought helping me or holding me back? Is this voice truth or trauma? Is this logic or just fear wearing a mask? Because when you check your mind, you change your life. When you lead your thoughts, you unlock the future that fear tried to bury. Don't let your mind become the reason you never fly. Train it, challenge it, redirect it when it pulls you off course, because left unchecked, it will sabotage what you're capable of becoming. But when brought under control, it will become the greatest weapon you'll ever have. Victory in life begins with victory in your thinking. Before the results, before the success, Before anything changes on the outside, it starts inside your mind. You don't win in the world until you win in your thoughts. Your mindset shapes your choices. Your choices shape your habits, and your habits build your future. If your mind is filled with doubt, your actions will hesitate. If your thoughts are full of fear, you'll pull back when it's time to step forward. But if your thoughts are disciplined, if they are focused, if they are locked in on growth, on strength, on purpose, then your life begins to mirror that. That's why mindset isn't a buzzword, it's the foundation. It's the first battle you fight, and the one you fight every day. You don't just think yourself into success, but you can think yourself into readiness, into resilience, into the kind of energy that refuses to quit. Every challenge you face begins in your head. Will you let it stop you, or will you rise through it? That decision happens before the obstacle ever shows up. It happens in your thoughts. Winners think differently. They don't avoid the hard, they don't run from fear, they face it. They think with intention. They choose what to believe and what to reject, because they know if they don't win in their thinking, they can't win in the world. Victory is mental before it's ever physical. You prepare in your mind before you step into the arena. You decide who you are, what you stand for, and what you will no longer accept. That's power. That's control. That's how you build a life that doesn't crumble when pressure comes. You win when you own your mind, when you stop letting negative thoughts run wild, when you take responsibility for what lives in your head. Because once you conquer your thinking, everything else begins to fall into place. So choose your thoughts with care. Guard your mind like it holds your future, because it does. You were never meant to be a prisoner of fear, a victim of doubt, or a slave to old patterns. You were built to lead your mind, not be led by it. You were built to rise, to grow, to command your life from the inside out. This isn't about perfection. It's about power. It's about taking full responsibility for what you think, what you believe, and what you become. Because once you win in your mind, you can win anywhere.